this is our pregnancy update for week 31. I feel like recently it's been more frequent, or at least I've noticed it more, that there have just been times where I've just been a little spacey and just kind of forgotten something that I typically wouldn't. And I know like two of the big examples are two different times that Sean and I and Liz went out. I forgot my cell phone. And normally I mean, I'm not amazing, but I'm pulled together enough to remember the essentials. And I've even adjusted to having a toddler and packing for her and packing for me. But I find myself forgetting things that typically, like, I would not forget. Anyways, so thankfully, wrote everything down. Well, you know. So we are up 22 pounds. Indigestion's pretty bad. Tums, not always super helpful. I have started sleeping with 3 pillows. Because I tried 2 and it was like I needed an incline, you know, otherwise it would put pressure on my lower back and that would hurt. So anyways, 3 pillows to try to help with my indigestion and also snoring a little bit. I mean, I'm hoping that that's helping a bit. I don't know. So I have some lower back pain, still some nasal congestion. My ankles and feet have started to swell a bit. Not crazy, but enough to notice and enough to not be able to wear some of my shoes, like dress shoes that I would wear to work. They're not comfortable, or they just don't fit properly right now, so wearing comfy shoes, thankfully I can do that at my job. Tons of movement all day, high and low. Sean was able to see it. Sometimes at night I'll just be sitting there and it's the type where you can literally just look and see her, you know, pushing through. So kind of hilarious. I do need to walk around more often and kind of take breaks from being seated. It's just not comfortable, and I find myself getting kind of stiff in the hip area. Also, the leg cramps are bad. So I looked up what you're supposed to do, not just pregnancy-wise, but just in general if you have leg cramps or charley horses or whatever. So you're supposed to try to stay more hydrated. So my plan to drink less fluids right before bed is now nixed, because I need to keep drinking and just getting up and peeing, because it's better than having these terrible leg cramps like wake me up in the middle of the night. Also, I had such a bad one, and I guess I didn't, like, it stopped or settled down or whatever, but it didn't, I don't know, it didn't completely go away. And for a couple days, my left calf was quite sore, like sore to the touch. So then I got nervous. Sorry if you can hear Liz. She's laying down, falling asleep. Anyways, I mean, she's happy. She's not crying. She's just making noise. So I got nervous, and I ended up waking up at like 1:30 and grabbing my phone and looking it up, which, you know, is like a great idea, because you could look up any symptom and it's going to come up with something terrible. So of course I look up, you know, pregnancy, calf pain, this lingering, because like I hadn't had a charley horse in like 24 hours, but it still would hurt. So of course it says that you could have DVT or like a blood clot in your leg, all these things. So I'm like losing my mind. And normally I get kind of anxious about these things because it could be something serious. It might not be, it most likely isn't, but it could be. So I start freaking out a little bit, and I'm wondering if I should call the doctor, and especially being pregnant, you just want to be careful, you know? So it ended up, I woke up the next morning and my leg was noticeably better. So I then really think that it was just a sore calf muscle. I think that I'm not a very fit or athletic person, and I think that I did not like properly massage or stretch my calf from that bad charley horse, and it just kind of lingered a little bit longer than it should have. But there weren't any of the other signs that they said. There could be redness, that it would be more swollen than the other leg, and it wasn't. I didn't have a fever. There were a couple other symptoms that I did not have, so that's why I ended up not calling and being super relieved the next morning when it was better. So eye, skin, and hair. So you know that I dye my hair all the time, like consistently, constantly, all the time. And once I bleach it, as it is now, then I just put dye over top of it and just let it wash out, and then do another dye on top of it, because I do like purple or blue or, you know, whatever, peach, something like that. So those dyes aren't super damaging. It's usually the bleach that's damaging, and sometimes even the purple shampoo can be quite drying, but naturally my hair is quite fine, and it's usually pretty healthy on its own. I don't really use conditioner very often normally, but lately my skin has dried out, so my acne is like gone. I still have a couple breakouts randomly, but nothing like it was before. And my hair is dry and my skin is dry, so I've been moisturizing. Crying spells, oh my god, you guys, probably in the past 2 weeks, I'd say 4 times I have cried. 2 times definitely stress. I don't know that I would normally be that stressed over the situations that I was in. I don't know. And 2 other times, for some reason during both my pregnancies, I have binge watched Vampire Diaries. I don't know why. But I have. And there's some sad episodes, and I'm in season 5, season 6. If you're a fan, you know there's a lot of drama happening. Well, all the time, but some serious drama happening. And it's not like a couple tears. It is like I'm sobbing. So it's so funny because I really don't think that I had, like, I feel like through this entire pregnancy I haven't really noticed any extra emotions. I feel like everything has been kind of manageable, and I mean, during a pandemic and all this, it's still been just doable. But for some reason, literally the last 2 weeks, I have just been super emotional, and I had a rough meeting today at work, and I was nervous about it, and I made a mistake. Nothing terrible, but I did make a mistake, and I like started to tear up at work, and normally that wouldn't happen. I would save the tearing up for the drive home, but it got me. So anyways, yeah, I definitely feel like that's something that I wouldn't normally have a tough time with, that I'm struggling with right now. And the last thing is just being tired. Even after I get a good night's sleep, you know, a good solid 7, 8, 9, doesn't matter. I'm waking up and I'm just kind of beat. And I feel like I look kind of beat. Like I feel like my under eyes are just a little darker. I'm starting to feel it. So I know that we still have a good ways to go. I'm not saying it like that, but you know, I am really feeling these things, and I'm genuinely tired, and that's it. So everything's good. I mean, the baby's healthy, everything's fine. It's all good. We have an ultrasound in 2 weeks. That's going to be, I think, our final ultrasound. I don't know, whatever. There's one in 2 weeks. Time is flying. I am not. You know that this is supposed to be the baby's room, and I know she's going to stay with us in our room for a while. We have the bassinet John, but we are not ready. Like on a scale of like ready and not ready, we are super not ready. Super not ready. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Anyways, so thank you guys so much for watching and joining. Please share any love or comments or any positivity, please, below, and I hope you're doing well and stay safe.